In today's video, I want to share with you why I decided to leave my software engineer career. So if you are thinking getting into this industry or you already have a well-paid job as an engineer, but you feel like you're stuck, today's video is for you. I will share what has happened that changed my mind and how I arrived at my current decision. So the whole process is not like suddenly one day I had an epiphany and I jumped on the decision. The change happens very gradually. Let me start from the beginning. This was a year ago when I just joined my current team. Everyone on the team was very supportive and knowledgeable. The only thing that bothered me was our senior. They looked tired all the time. If you ever worked in big tech, you know that it can take a month to ramp up a new hire. So by the time I familiarized myself with all the code base, the services we are responsible for, 8 out of 10 people have left the team. When each team member announces their departure, I will request for a one-on-one meeting with them. Besides that, I also have 2 mentors where I can discuss things that are not directly related to my project or things I don't feel very comfortable share directly in the team. Those 2 mentors also left. Here is some advice I have collected from those seniors. First, never chase the money. Second, don't jump around too quick. It's not only because a very complex system can take a month to ramp up, but also it takes about a year for your teammate to build the rapport with you to really give you some meaningful feedback. Third, which is directly from my mentor, if you don't feel like you are learning, you should find a new place. And the last one is from a very burnout teammate, and he said, leave here as soon as possible. I remember once in a meeting, a senior engineer who was 2 levels above me, for some reason he said, I'm not as smart as those Bitcoin kids. I don't remember what that meeting was for anymore, but I remember that sentence, and I don't think he was joking because he did look miserable in those days. From there, it became clearer that I stopped looking forward for my career path. I stopped taking pride in the things I'm building or in the people I'm helping. Because I can see myself repeating myself in the next 10 years and getting to a place I don't look forward to. It was scary. Although the technical detail is very different every day, and I definitely learned a lot through each project. But the problem is there are so many things going on outside of the software engineer life, and there are so many things I haven't explored. I want to spend more time in writing, in creating, in filming and comedy. I had this dream since elementary school that I want to run my own business. Therefore, this golden handcuff starts hurting me. I literally, rather than being a homeless, than repeating myself for the next 10 years. So I need a way out. More than half of the population do not like their job. So what keeps them at the job is probably not the fact they enjoy it. I gained a much deeper understanding of what that means after I made my decision. So I made my decision, I decided to change my career, but changing into what? Again, I'm lost. I have dozens of ideas, but how to evaluate them? How to know I'm gonna make a decision that I will not regret again. And even just in the space of business, and there is so many ideas you can start as a business. Or if I still want to have a better job, what a better job even means. Just those questions themselves can be overwhelming, let alone you need to think about them and work on them and testing them after you already worked 8 hours on the things you don't enjoy anymore. I realize this is where most people get stuck, because if you have less time in your thinking and testing on your ideas, the less quality of your decision gonna be. Then as a consequence, your life gonna become worse. So this whole process itself became this poverty trap of time. So the question has changed from what is the next job, next career I want to take on, into a question of how to get out of this poverty trap of time. I'm going to share my answer in this video, but before that, I need to share some ideas that laid the foundation of my answer. FIRE isn't a new concept, but in case you don't know, it represents financial independence and retire early. It is a movement of people devoted to a program of extreme savings and investment that aims to allow them to retire far earlier. The real impact of FIRE is not the fact that they demonstrated the possibility of retiring way earlier. What's more important is it helps you to realize that you don't have to live your life like how society expects you. You can redefine yourself. you can redefine your own value, success, and happiness and your day-to-day life. You can break through the shackle and build the world around you while the rest of everything is still evaluated based on their position in a consumerist relationship. The main ideas behind the FIRE movement originated from a book called Your Money or Your Life, as well as another book called Early Retirement Extreme. The authors of those books provide a new perspective to re-examine the capitalist social structure under consumerism and how it shackles our freedom. To achieve financial freedom, you need to decouple yourself from the existing society roles, because those existing roles serve as a lock-in, which promotes evolution. In plain English, it just means you have to work harder to achieve the same level of return compared to the earlier generation. Or even simpler, a lock-in is a system that turns you into a wage slave.
Wage slavery, which they regarded as not very different from chattel slavery. The only difference between working for a wage and being a slave is that working for a wage is supposedly temporary.
If you took a look at the plantation economy, there were masters who were very decent people. They treated the slaves very nicely. In fact, they were treated better than free workers, much better. They were allowed to live their family lives, they didn't beat them up or anything. But it didn't matter. It was slavery. And maybe some of them, gave money to the church and did all kind of decent things. Probably they did, nice people. But the trouble was the institution. The institution was wrong. It doesn't matter whether you do it nicely or not nicely.
In the movie Shawshank Redemption, a concept called institutionalization is mentioned.
It's just institutionalized. Institutionalized my ass.
During the process of institutionalization, individuals are adapted to and rely on the predefined rules and processes. If this cycle repeats with enough time pass by, eventually those individuals will lose the ability to truly think for themselves.
But I'm telling you, these walls are funny. First you hate them, and you get used to them. Enough time passes, you get so you depend on them.
Then as a consequence, they will have to live in the existing system. My problem with software engineering and machine learning is its specialization. So when your skills become more specialized, it's good for the business, it's more productive, but it's bad for you because it increases your opportunity cost. So whenever you decided to quit your job or you lost your job and you need another job, you basically are looking for exact same thing. And second, when more people compete for same thing, the selection or the people will be evaluated based on things that doesn't make sense anymore, like their interview tricks and their internal politics performance. So it's like the system is imposing a cookie cutter idea on best engineers, when in reality there shouldn't be one. Because before their professions as an engineer, they first are a high dimensional human being. While deinstitutionalizations help us distress and enjoy our life, but most of us aren't aiming for a leisure time the rest of our life. Most of us want to be in the game, want to pursue our dreams. For me, it's about security. I don't feel safe of being a plebeian. So what do I do next? My answer is to bootstrap a small business. It depends on the nature of the business, but I think bootstrapped business is better than venture-tracked for several reasons. The first one is venture-track usually driven by the scalability, so you usually have more growth pain and having a more stressful lifestyle. The second one is because bootstrapped small business is smaller, then it's easier for debugging or learning for yourself. The last one is the process of selling and building a small business is more reproducible. So if you don't like one idea, you can move on to the next one. Or you like them, you can build a portfolio that have similar ideas. Basically, you don't have to fixate on one idea or one business for the rest of your 5-10 years. The last one sounds particularly good for me as an engineer who jumped on the AWS Solution Architect Associate exam as a 6-month-old junior. I tend to be drawn to systems and big pictures. Okay, so bootstrapped business it is, but there are still so many. Where should I start? Here is how I approach it. I researched the most beginner-friendly businesses and started playing with them. My current phase is trying to get a basic understanding of each type and see how they can synergize with each other, just like how I approached the AWS Solution Architect exam. Here's a list of businesses you can start as baby steps. As some of you know, I already started the first several. Although each direction seems very different, but once you started, you will realize a lot of knowledge are shared in different domains. For example, how to research your market and validate your ideas, how to find the niche that you enjoy working on, how to juggle different things going on in life and keep yourself physically and mentally healthy, how to do marketing, copywriting, and distribution channels, how to understand the basic financial statement and accounting practice, how to network and develop new relationships. All these businesses can start very small and they also tend to fail, but in long run, they have the potential to grow into $1 million business. More importantly, your skills and experience compound. And that's what I bet on. Individuals assesses their loss and gain perspectives asymmetrically. If you are willing to bleed a little bit every day, you may win big later. So that's everything for today. I want to know if what I shared has brought more clarity to the decision you are making, whether you decide to take the leap and start your own business, or you manage to find a new passion in your existing job. I wish you to have the most fun with whatever is coming next.